Morning, you guys. Morning. Happy Wednesday morning. Happy spring, almost summer. Certainly feels like summer out there where I'm at. This past weekend, we went to the Ren Fair. I know I have done countless vlogs. There's at least 2 or 3 on this channel from every year when we go. Did not vlog yesterday. But I did take a bunch of pictures, so if you're wondering what I was wearing, what my husband was wearing at the Georgia Ren Fair, we're going to go ahead and drop those pictures in this video, and you'll be able to see what I was wearing and what my husband was wearing. So I think that that's what people care most about, is that and the food. And we didn't actually eat at the Ren Fair. I have been having some stomach issues that have been ongoing. You guys know I've talked a little bit about not feeling well. So we packed our own food. We packed bottles of water and trail mix and nuts and things like that in a rucksack that I carried because my husband wears a full kit of armor. So I carry a rucksack that is full of healthy and energy snacks and bottles of water. So that is what we did. And yeah, we had an absolute blast. The Georgia Ren Fair is just outside of Atlanta, and it runs from the April 13th date all the way until June, I'm pretty sure. It runs late in the year. We always go early in the year for our first time because of the weather. In Georgia in June, you will cook. You will absolutely cook. Plus, my husband's wearing like 75 pounds of steel. He literally is in an oven in June in Georgia. So we go the very first weekend that they're open, generally every year. And we have had warm weather, which is what we had this weekend. 2 years ago, we had snow. We have had 60, nice, we've had the whole spectrum of weather at the Ren Fair in April in Atlanta. But we had so much fun. I'll talk a little bit more about it. And also, if you are not able to go to a Ren Fair, I've got some book recommendations for you. But first, let me montage my photos. Little photo montage for you. So we went, like I said, the first weekend in April. It was about 85 degrees in midday. We like to get there right when they open, because if you do not at the Atlanta Ren Fair, well, it's called the Georgia Ren Fair, but it's in Atlanta. Everybody either calls it the Atlanta Ren Fair or the Georgia Ren Fair. You will walk like 2 miles because it is extremely popular here. So we like to get there right when they open at 10:30. Well, we park at about 10, and then they open the main gate at 10:30. And we always meet up with friends. We met up with about 4 friends this year, and it's just always a really good time. This year I wore a black lace camisole lingerie set with a forest green corset over top and a forest green cloak. That cloak is my baby. If you are at all familiar with my channel, you've seen me in that cloak many times. It was one of the most expensive period pieces I've personally ever purchased. Now my husband has multiple $100s worth of pieces for his whole suit of armor, but I typically just buy cheap pieces here and there and put things together. I'm not as adamant as him. I go to the Ren Fair every year, and that's kind of it. We're looking at going to the North Carolina Ren Fair in October this year, but October is always a crazy busy month with birthdays, Halloween, weddings here for us, because weddings are a huge thing in Georgia in October because of the weather being nice. So October just always ends up being crazy busy. But we would love to go to the North Carolina Ren Fair in October this year. I say that to say I really only garb up one time a year, and that's for the Ren Fair. Twice if we go to this Georgia Ren Fair twice. Sometimes we'll go at the beginning of the season and at the end of the season. But my husband obviously spends way more on his kit because he goes to probably about 10 events every year. Some are fighting events, some are training events, some are fully immersive, some are just hangouts. But he's going to a lot more events than I'm going to, so obviously his kit we spend way more money on. But that cloak I got from Etsy, it is all velvet and it is gorgeous and so warm and so nice. It has a long train and I just love it. I love it. And I paid like $150 for it at the time. This was 4 to 5 years ago, so it probably is not $150 anymore. That's also what we're going to talk about. This is the first year that we actually did not purchase anything at the Ren Fair. Normally, well, that's a lie. We got 2 jars of our favorite olives from the Garlic Festival people that set up there. We love these particular garlic olives that are there every year, and I love them, and my husband loves them. We eat them out of house and home. So we always get like 2 or 3 jars of those when we go every time. And then we have friends who go late in the year, and we'll send them with some money, and they'll get us a couple more jars. But I don't consider that like a purchase. Normally we purchase a sword, a knife, a weapon of some kind every year, just because it's one of the biggest vendoring sites for this kind of thing, what my husband does, as well as like real knives and swords and things like that, which my husband also collects and loves. But we always buy one every year that's like his little treat, and we bring it home. But this year we didn't, for a few reasons. One, a lot of the latex weapons that my husband likes and uses come from Eastern Europe, particularly the Ukrainian area, things like that. Obviously, the price on those has skyrocketed because the shipping and everything else, it's way more difficult to get them. For obvious reasons. Just turn on the news. I'm not getting political here about anything, but there's things going on. So the price has skyrocketed on these particular items because of that. And we just can't justify paying double what we would have paid 2 years ago for the same item. As well as just, I don't know, I feel like the prices were really high this year. Even on the handmade Damascus pieces that my husband would normally purchase, they were a piece that might have been $400 a few years ago was $600 this year. And so we just, I don't know, nothing really struck our fancy. And yeah, we just didn't purchase anything this year. But if you are near the Atlanta Ren Festival, or it's a travelable distance for you, 1000% recommend checking it out. We have so much fun every year. It is my favorite event every year. Of all the things my husband and I do together, this is my favorite event that we go to every year. I look forward to it every year. It's like my welcoming of spring because I'm outside all day and the nice weather, and I just love it. It's a wonderful time. We meet wonderful people because of my husband's kid. We meet so many people because everybody comes up to him and wants to talk to him and wants to ask him questions about it. And I think if we had $1 for every time somebody asked us, like, are you gotten that? We would have left with all of our money back that we spent to get there. So if you are close to the Georgia Ren Fair, like the Atlanta area, absolutely check it out. It is the best time you will have. Like, just such a good time. It's family friendly. They have rides for kids, like a few of them. There's like a giant wooden horse that they can ride on that this guy pushes. There's a ship that flies around. There's camels. Like, there's things to do for the little ones as well. Tons of shopping. Like 90% of this place's shows are shopping. And then you've got your food vendors, your drink vendors. There's pub crawls you can sign up for. If you go online to the Georgia Ren Fair website, you can sign up to do the pub crawls. There's jousting and so many different fun things. However, if you are not near Atlanta, if you don't have a Ren Fair near you, or if you just physically can't do something like this, you guys, I probably walked 5 to 7 miles that day, just with a full rucksack that probably weighed like 30-ish pounds, full of water bottles and ice packs and food. A lot of people can't do that. Like, it's just not a possibility for them. There's not a whole lot of places to stop and sit. You've got like a couple of places. Of course, it's outdoor, tons of hills. And some people, they just can't do that. So if that is you, and you either don't live in a country or a state where there's a nearby Ren Fair, or you physically cannot do this type of event, but you still want this vibe, if you're like, man, I've been watching all of these Ren Fair season videos, it's spring, everybody's going to the Ren Fair, I sure wish I could go to the freaking Ren Fair, there is a savior. If you like to read, which if you're on my channel, I assume you do like to read, one of my favorite series is by Jen DeLuca, and it is basically her Renaissance Fair series. The first book is called Well Met. Like I said, you're in luck because Jen DeLuca has a wonderful series about Ren Fairs, and the first book is called Well Met, and then you have Well Played, Well Matched, and Well Traveled. They're all revolving around this Renaissance Fair in, I believe it's in like Connecticut or Vermont, something like that. And all of these different characters who you meet throughout this book series, who fall in love, who are friends, who work the Ren Fair every season together. And it is just the most fun little book series. I absolutely love it. 10 out of 10, check out the book series. If you are not able to do your own Ren Fair experience, it is a really good substitution. But yeah, have an amazing weekend. Thanks for enjoying the pictures. If you can't do the Renaissance Fair near you, highly recommend Jen DeLuca's Renaissance Fair series. It will give you all of the good vibes and make you feel like maybe you're not missing out so much. I love you guys so much. Thanks for liking, subscribing, sharing, and I will see you guys on Saturday morning with another book review. Bye now.